Good evening, everyone. I am Vaishali, your MC for tonight. A very warm welcome to all of you to today's session, which is day 14 of our 3 week series, which is Peace and Joy Within. This week, we are aiming to improve our knowledge of our own subtle system and a bit more understanding of, in depth in what we are all about. So, till today, we've talked about the qualities of the chakras. We've reached till here. So we started from Muladhara, which has the power of innocence. Then we moved on to the second chakra, which is Swadhisthana, which has the power of creativity. Then we moved on to the Nabhi, and here's the chart which says it all. So we moved on to the third chakra, which is Nabhi, which has the quality of peace. And then we moved on to the heart, which has love and compassion. Then we moved on to the collectivity, which is the Vishuddhi, which is here in our throat. And today we'll be talking about the sixth chakra, which is Agya chakra. That is a chakra of forgiveness. And it's a really beautiful topic, the power of forgiveness, which is amazing. And I can't believe we are already on day 14 of our 21 days, session. So I have the privilege to invite our presenters for today, which are Rita and Rita.
Hello, everyone. we are all here today. We've been having a wonderful evening together, afternoon actually together today. So welcome everyone. As Vaishali was saying, it's just surprising. I think we all owe a great pat on the back for our perseverance and continuing on this journey. Before we start, could we have a show of hands? So if you could just put that little hand signal to say if you're joining us for the first time or you're, just second or third, and you would like a little bit of a refresher for the subtle system to go through the realization process because you've missed the first week. If you put your hands up, Kannan is kindly offered to take you guys to a side room. And you can have a little side session for 20 minutes to go through the realization process and have a bit of a refresher to catch up for the last few sessions that you missed. And today for our first part of our meditation, which we normally do, we've got a little bit of a surprise. We've got Sarita joining us from Austria. So hello Sarita.
Hi, good evening everyone there in Sydney, in Australia. My name is Sarita. I'm from Vienna.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making time for us today. So how long have you been in Sahaj, Sarita?
Quite few years now. Since age of 10, I have been practicing Sahaja Yoga, and I must say it has a lot of impact on our daily life, especially to find our balance, to find our peace, to have peaceful attention. I am also a mother of 2 children who are already grown up, and I'm working a full time in risk management. So you know what kind of life we all have, those who work also. And so meditation has quite a strong impact on our daily life, which to take any decisions peacefully and to have a very focused attention.
It's kind of a lifestyle now, isn't it? Your attention, you quite automatically kind of help to settle it and help
Exactly.
to resolve issues and problems and stuff like that. So it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to do is Sarita is going to sing for us today during our futsal session. So if people have, you can do Bandhan karo and Reza Kundalini and Bandhan. So anyone who has their foot soaks ready, as we normally do, please vibrate the water and put your feet in the water. Those that don't have, please just stay seated as you are. If you've got a candle, please light the candle. So we have the flame, which plays two roles. One is we've got the heat, and we always have the candle sitting on our left side because we are using the heat element to balance our left. So in the left, we call it as the moon channel. As we get that imbalance to the left, we're getting more and more to the left. We say that it's kind of freezing. We're getting the ice. So we're using the heat of the candle to basically defrost ourselves. And then the second part of it is today we're talking about the Agya Chakra, the sixth energy center in the middle of our forehead. So there we use the quality of light of the candle. So it'll play a dual purpose for us today. So please have our feet in the water, and
both the palms should be open on your lap comfortably like that.
We can have mother's photo, please.
So now we will start raising our Kundalini and taking Bandhan. So we have to do it like raising the Kundalini slowly, tying first knot, then the second time, 2 knots, and now the third time, raising the left hand slowly, right hand revolving around, 1 knot, 2 knot, 3 knots. And now with our right hand, we will do the bandhaning. We will start from the left side all the way to the right. With 1. Second time. Third. 4. 5. 6. And 7.
With our feet in the water or flat on the ground. Let's put our right hand towards Mother Earth. Attention on the Sahasrara. Just watching our thoughts and listening. Requesting all the imbalances, all the negativities of our past, of our left side, to be absorbed into the Mother Earth. Thanks, Sarita.
Namaste Nirmala Devi Yogakshema Pradayini Sunite Brahmana Kanne Yoga Shastra Visharadi Skandamatre Bhagavati Madhukaitavha Nashini Namaste Kundalini Devi Mahisha Suramardini Mahalakshmi Mahagauri सर्व चक्र निवासिनी सर्व स्वरूपा सर्वेशी सर्व मंत्र स्वरूपिणी फतिमा पार्वती सीता राधा मेरी च निर्मला महाशक्ति परावाणी आदि माता च निर्मला समर्पितोऽस्मि त्वां महादेवी माते जगदो धारिणी नमामि त्वां निर्मला देवी निरानन्द प्रदायिनी निरानन्द प्रदायिनी निरानन्द प्रदायिनी.
Now slowly put your right hand back on the lap, and for the right side clearance, take your left hand towards ether and asking for the clearance of the right channel. Hold your Sarita.
भय कायतया प्रभु जाचा रे 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 सर्व विसरली प्रभु माय झाली सर्व विसरली प्रभु माय झाली पूर्ण जयाची वाचा भय कायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभु जाचा रे जगत विचरे उपकारास्तव जगत विचरे उपकारास्तव परिणच जो जगताचा भय कायतया प्रभु जाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभु जाचा रे इति निर्धन परत्र जाचा इति निर्धन भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे आधी व्याधी मरणा परती आधी व्याधी मरणा परती पाय अशा पुरुषाचा रे पाय अशा पुरुषाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे भय कायतया प्रभुजाचा रे प्रभुजाचा रे प्रभुजाचा रे
Slowly bringing our hands back. And now we can request Mother Kundalini for clearing our central channel. We can bring both the hands, like both the palm upwards, towards at the heart level, and request clearance of our central channel.
Thanks, Sarita.
हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले मम झाले मन झाले मम झाले मन झाले सर्व जगी संचरले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले बालवदन तव बघुनी ख्रिस्ता बालवदन तव बघुनी ख्रिस्ता सकल दुरितमय झाले आस्था नव दिव्य रूप जगिल्याले मम झाले मन झाले सर्व जगी संचरले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले मन्मथ सखया तुझा पाळणा वदन वाहिले तव संस्तवना वदन वाहिले तव संस्तवना सर्व जगी संचराले हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले हे प्रेम मूर्त हे प्रेम मूर्त हे प्रेम मूर्त जगी आले.
Energy. You can just place your hand above with your right hand, and then with your left. And this was a really great example of our meditation session today, where just having our feet in the water, doing that action of left and right with the center, with our hands at our heart, we are expressing our desire that we want this, the realization, we want the chakras. So that's the trigger for this mother energy within ourselves, that is self-healing, that knows what to do, and for it to kind of start then igniting and starting to work within ourselves. So there's not much we need to do. We just need to have the desire to express that we want that clearing, we want that balancing, we want to be in connection with our spirit and with the all-pervading power. So anyone that's got their feet in the water, please rinse your feet and get it out of the water. And Sarita, thank you so much for a wonderful meditation and making time for us today. She's got a very busy schedule, so thank you so much. And you have a fantastic, absolutely fantastic day.
Thank you for inviting and having this wonderful session with all of you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. We'll see you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So with the meditation and our attention settled for today, let us go through learning a little bit more about the energy center for today, which is the Agya. So I will pass on to...
Hello, everyone. Richa again tonight with you, and today we will be talking about, learning about a little bit the last chakra, the second last chakra, the sixth chakra, which is the Agya chakra. And it is the center of, as we can see in the chart, it is the center, the quality of it is the forgiveness. Now let's learn a little bit more about it. If you see it, the blue channel, the left channel, that is passing from the left side, and it is crossing from the center, from the forehead to the right upper part. And similarly, the yellow one, which is of our right channel, this is also starting from the, of course, from the second chakra, the Swadhisthana. But again, it is coming to the forehead and it is going to the left hand side. So at the forehead, they are crossing. Okay, they both are crossing over there. So now, this is the place, this is the center, we call it as an Agya chakra. This is the sixth energy center. So both the channels, all the three channels get passed through this one. That's why it is you can say that it doesn't have much space. It's a very, it doesn't have no space in between that, because the lines are, the channels are passing through it. And that's why it's it's been said in the earlier times as well, that it's very difficult to open this subtle chakra, this energy center. And in this meditation, we be able to do it. Mother Kundalini would be able to come out of it, can pierce through it, only by one simple method, which is of forgiveness. So now we will learn about it, that how do we little bit more, what are the, how do we know where exactly it is situated in the finger, on the foot, where it is, then how to balance it out, what are the problems and imbalances we received if this chakra has been caught up, or it is not in a balanced state, and lastly, how to balance it out. So we'll go step by step how we had learned in the previous days about our different subtle system. We are going to learn about this one as well. So if you can move please to the next slide. Yes, so now we will first talk about the physical aspects and the position of this center on our body part. So it's on the forehead, as we have already seen, it's over here. And in the hands, it will be on our, we will be knowing it into our ring finger. Okay, so this is the position of this chakra. And similarly on the, in our legs, if you can see the diagram, it's on the second last one is the one which is, finger on our foot as well. And so this is the position of this chakra on the different body parts. And so how, like with this knowledge, how do we know? So when we meditate, and if we feel any tingling or any sensation on our, ring finger, then it says about our, our sixth sense. So if there is some tingling or something, it shows us, it is telling us that it has a little bit imbalance and we have to balance it out. So that's how it is. Now, if we move to the next slide, we will also see that what are the element that is affecting it. So yes, as we have seen previously, that different earth element that it has an effect on our Muladhara chakra. So the fire element has it on the our Swadhisthana, the water element on the Nabhi. So similarly, the light element, not the heat part of it, the light part of it. As the starting also, Rita Riddhi was telling us that the candle has the dual functionality. One, it is of the heat, and another is the light. The light is the one which helps to clear our Agya chakra, our forehead, the chakra which is on the forehead. So this is the element that helps us. Next slide, please. Okay, now we talk about the physiological functions about it. So where does it actually help? How this center helps us? So of course, it is the department that helps in, it is the one which governed our thinking process. And of course, that's the forehead, the temple part of us, this one completely, that represents our sixth chakra. Our sight is the power of our eyesight. Also, it has a major effect how this chakra is being opened, or how beautifully it is being manifested. So you have a better eyesight, it has an effect on that one as well. And this is the physiological functions, and that has an effect on the qualities as well of our inner qualities, which we'll talk after 2 or 3 slides. But this is this will, it is easy to remember. It's the forehead, so our ability to think, to react, or to for any moment, to be in that moment what is supposed to do. So that is the part, something being governed by this chakra. And so we, if you see on the how it get imbalanced, how do we know that it is not in a balance? We'll know in the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, of course, we have the qualities first. So as we have seen the physiological functions we have, that, this is on the physical aspects, that how do we have a good eyesight, the ability to think, to react, to understand at any point of time, to how to react is the best word I can think of, as can think of how. That is the qualities of the physical aspect of this chakra. And similarly, the qualities, that is innate qualities that comes within us. And I think the forgiveness is one of the most strong quality I can talk about, or I can think a person can have. It's definitely not easy to forgive, definitely. Even if I will keep on saying that, okay, I forgive everyone, or it doesn't be easy. So it's like there have been things that has happened, there are people around us, there are things around us. So it is not easy to forgive. The beauty of this chakra is that it gives you that innate quality. So you don't have to force yourself to, forgive people, that, just forcing yourself. No, it will slowly, when this chakra will manifest, you will automatically become forgiving. So it gives you those innate qualities. The qualities start blossoming automatically. That is the beauty of this meditation. Similarly, you become more and more humble, and the thoughtlessness, that is this, I think, the kind of era in which we are living. In this, the major problem which we are facing is that our head cannot stop thinking. All the time, we are thinking either of the past or of the future. So it breaks that chain. And it does automatically. You don't have to say to yourself, oh, you have to be thoughtless. You have to be thoughtless. You don't have to think about it. No, you automatically develop this quality. It becomes so, it's like it become a daily routine of yours in your life, that you are thoughtlessly aware. So the chain of, bombarding of the thoughts one by one breaks that chain. And of course, it happens, the time frame, starts with a few seconds, then it moves to the, minutes and so on. But yes, that's a wonderful, because when you are thoughtless, you will be the most peaceful state. That's how you get those qualities, this innate qualities automatically, as soon as this chakra starts blossoming. Next slide, please. Yes. So that's what I was talking about, and that how do we know that our chakra is imbalanced? Of course, we can see certain, we can have an introspection, and we can check on ourselves that whether do I have any kind of weakness in my eye, or when I am now, since we are already trying to meditate from past 13 days, do I have a very strong, do I have a very difficulty, do I have a difficulty in meditating? My mind is always running. I'm not able to, meditate, or I'm not able to go to the thoughtless state. So then this is one of the problem that, I can relate it to this subtle chakra. And the next is, of course, do I have the problem of the severe headache or migraine, which is, you pulsating of your nerve on your forehead? So do I have that? And usually the certain imbalances we can see while having this, when this chakra is not being properly, it has a problem. It has an imbalance, that the eyes are flickering. They cannot be at one place, like all the time roaming here and there, all the time seeing one thing to other. They cannot be, at a particular place. Of course, it adds to that. It has the lust and greed in the eyes, so that that you have a problem, imbalance. Again, there are other imbalances which we can see, that there are too much of thinking. We start judging others. There will be the attachment, the false conditions. So these are the certain problems and imbalances. We can make it out that yes, we have a problem. So there's a problem. We know where exactly this chakra is situated, and now come as how to correct it. So if we move to the next slide, please. Yeah. So then we have how to improve. So of course, we have the light element, which we have talked about it. So we can use the candle as the light element. Of course, we can use the prayer, which is the very strong one, that I forgive everyone. We try to keep our attention in the present. If it is, moving here and there will just come back. We have to be present. This is a little bit in the starting. We have to help ourselves to improve this chakra. And of course, if we are too much into mobile or I can think of 1,000 applications as of now to talk about it. But yes, if you are into too much of it, WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, whatnot, if you're like continuously into that, this is going to be caught. So try to move your attention to the nature, which we have talked, which has effect on our Muladhara as well, the first chakra as well, but definitely it is going to affect our eyes and ultimately our Agya chakra. So we know the problem, we know the imbalances, and we know how to improve it. And I think that's pretty much everything about that.
Yeah, about the idea. Okay. That's beautifully done. Thank you very much, Rita. The main, I suppose the two things, as we were saying, we'll be using the light element. So when we're using the candle, we're having it close, but when we're using the light element, we are holding the candle a little bit further away, looking through the flame towards the red spot on Shri Mataji's forehead. But that as a treatment, that as a technique we'll use next week, just as a little bit of an advanced technique. I suppose one of the other things about, and forgiveness is, as you say, an absolutely important one, but it's also to remember, not just forgiving everyone, but also forgiving ourselves, because one of the very important things we were doing yesterday at the Vishuddhi, at the left Vishuddhi is I'm not guilty. So that forgiveness works hand in hand in that. You do have to forgive yourself about, yes, it doesn't matter. I've done something wrong. I face myself that we've done it. I acknowledge it and we move on. And the moving on is not because the moving on means that because you've acknowledged and faced it, that you will not repeat it again. So that's the important part. So you're forgiving yourself that it was done, but we will not repeat it again. So that's and that humility part means that you're kind of asking for that forgiveness for anything you might have done knowingly or unknowingly against your spirit, against our spiritual growth, against ourselves, I suppose. So that's important. Now the other thing that I suppose, if you could have the chakra chart, you'll see is that the left and the right channels cross over at the optic chiasma, which is at the center of the forehead, kind of a little bit inside towards the brain, inwards, which is where the Agya chakra is. So they cross over. So the left side, actually, when we say left Agya, it is the right side of the brain, because the left channel comes over and then crosses over at the optic chiasma, going to the right part of the brain. When we say right Agya, it means it's the right channel, which is going up, crossing over to the left part of the brain. And that's also reflected in science, because we know that the left, they say the left hemisphere looks after the right side and the right hemisphere looks after the left side. And that is the reason why, because that subtle system crosses over to the two sides. Now, if you see the little yellow and the blue bellowing, so we call them the ego and the superego. Now, normally, again, because of our data, we know in physics, every action has a reaction. You drive the car, you get the smoke as pollution and stuff like that. So with our activities, so when we are, when you're being overactive, all that heat from it kind of then goes and collects into that right Agya, the ego, which is that balloon of I-ness, me, mine, I'm great, I do everything, and I know what's right and stuff. When we go on the left side, so when we're being emotional, we're being insecure, we're being upset, all of those. So then here the reaction is that action of feeling insecure, that action of emotion, that action of crying, upset, thinking of the past is your action. The reaction is that it goes into your left Agya, which is the superego. So then it kind of makes, gets into that depression and those kind of issues that we go through. So that becomes, so when we're saying that I forgive, and that is in the center, when you're trying to do, I forgive myself, I forgive everyone. So on the left side, when you're kind of feeling that guilt, you're feeling, I'm terrible and all that, you're saying, I forgive myself. On the right side, when you're kind of being angry, you're angry at others, you're doing that, you're forgiving, I forgive everyone, and being in the center, please forgive me, with that humility. So that helps to open up the center again. So we'll listen to a little talk of Shri Mataji, because she explained this much better than us, and about how the little mantra that we can use to actually help balance this energy center. Thank you very much, Andrew. There's no volume, Andrew. Sorry, Andrew, could you share the volume, please? Can't hear.
Now, one thing is there obstructing Sahasrara is the movement of your agya into thoughts. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that stops your entry into Sahaja. Thoughts are coming all the time. Because a human being is born who reacts to everything. React to this and react to that, and the thoughts come in and thoughts go. There's a big crowd of thoughts. Because of that, your attention cannot cross over agya and can reside in the Sahasrara. So first of all, one should see what sort of thoughts are coming. You have to condemn yourself sometimes. You have to say, what nonsense, what have I been doing? What's the matter with me? How could I do all that? Once you start doing that, these thoughts will start disappearing. These thoughts are coming from two angles, one from the ego and another from your conditionings. And these are so much built up within you that they don't allow your agya to be crossed. That's why we have two bija mantras of Ham Ksham. First one is, when it is conditioning, you are endowed with this kind of a fear. I shouldn't do like this, I shouldn't do like that, it is not allowed, that is not allowed. That's the conditioning part of it. Conditioning can be of many types. But the ego part of it is that I must overpower everybody, I must get this, I must be able to rule everyone. These two things are there in the mind, which are all the time crossing. So it's important that we should go into thoughtless awareness. And that thoughtless awareness is the real way that your Sahasrara can be nourished by the Kundalini. Because Kundalini cannot go through, cannot pass through. And for that, as I said, there are two bija mantras. One is Ham, another Ksham. So if you are conditioned, you are frightened, you are afraid, and you had ideas about yourself. These days, the way people are describing, they'll say, I'm an extrovert. Somebody will say, I'm an introvert. Somebody will say, I'm hippie, I'm that. All kinds of things they can have attributed to themselves. But these ideas are all coming from outside. They are not from inside. To get to the inner side of yourself, to the subtler side of your being, you must allow the Kundalini to go through the Agya. To cross the Agya is a very important thing in modern times. And for that, you have to meditate. If you can meditate with complete faith in yourself, this Agya can be opened up with surrendering to the Divine. You have to surrender yourself to the Divine. And when this Agya opens, you'll be amazed. Your Sahasrara is just waiting to transfer, to give you all the help that you need through the all-pervading power. Your connection of Sahasrara with the all-pervading power is established. And by that, you will be amazed how all these 7 chakras work for you. How they help you. How they try to give you whatever is the real knowledge about everything. This real knowledge that you get is very joy-giving. You can see this real knowledge in everything. You don't have to start reading any book about it. In every situation and in every person, in every flower, in every natural happening, you see clearly the hand of the Divine. Once you see the hand of the Divine, your ego starts disappearing. Once you say that it's you do everything. Kabira has said something great about this. He said that when the goat is alive, it goes on saying, I am, I am. But when it is slaughtered and its intestines are made into strings which are used for cleaning the cotton, then it said, tu hi, you are. See, in this symbolic way, they have suggested that you have to become dissolved into this divine power. It's the divine power that does everything. What am I? I was just a drop, and I fell into this ocean of awareness of the divine power. And that is taking over and working it out. That will help you a lot to be a great surgeon. You develop curing powers, but still you are not proud of it. You developed, of course, awakening powers, you are not proud of it. You develop so many creative powers, and you are not proud of it. You become really very, very creative, extremely creative. But the greatest thing happened to you that you become a global personality. So you start seeing the problem of every country, of every other nation where they have problems. But these problems, when you see, you don't see like other people, because others may like to use it for their own purpose, maybe for media, maybe for something. What you want to see is that these problems are solved. See, your powers are so great with this kind of a mind, I would say, which is dominated completely by the divine power, that whatever disturbs you immediately is taken over and it starts working out. Many, many problems have been solved by Sahaja Yoga. And also they can be solved on a very universal level. If you are a global person, then what happens is that you become a sort of a vehicle, or you can become like a channel for this divine power to act, because you are purely a global personality. Not attached to this, attached to that, but a pure Sahaja personality, which can be used by this divine power very easily. For that, as I told in the afternoon also, that we have to be careful about few things that we have. Firstly, anger. Anger is the worst thing that we have. Angry for what? There are people who talk like this. I was very angry. They're proud of their anger. Anger is a sign of complete stupidity, absolute stupidity. There's no need to get angry with anyone, because by anger you don't solve the problem. With anger you spoil yourself. With anger you ruin your own nature. With anger you really spoil the whole situation. So no use having any anger about anything. But if anything happens that angers you, you should settle down and see for yourself, why is it wrong? Why is it disturbing you? Your seeing itself will help this problem to be solved. You must first of all realize that you are a special personality, that your Sahasrara has been opened out to this all divine power, as if you are entered into the realm of divinity. You are great guests in that great court of divine domain. You are not an ordinary person. And so once you understand why you have Sahaja Yoga and why you have got realization, is that there's something special. But that should not give you any ego. It's not for ego that you have to have this, but it's for understanding that you have to play into the hands of the divine. This play is something I could explain like this, that if you are supposing an artist, then in the hand of the artist is the brush, and the brush never thinks that it is doing anything. It's the artist who is doing everything. In the same way, when you are one with the divine power, you just feel, I am not doing anything. It's the artist who is doing. It's the artist who is managing. And who is the artist? Is this divine power which loves you, which cares for you, which looks after you, which absolutely is identified with you.
As you're saying, to forgive myself, and to forgive everyone. So the Sham to cleanse our ego and to cleanse our superego. Keeping our attention anchored to our spirit, dissolving our ego, overthinking, our stress and anxiety. Surrendering our superego, our past. With the Ham Sham, the greatest tool that we have against the ego is the humility, asking for forgiveness and to forgive. Remember that divine is love and joy. I hope you could feel your agyas clear a little bit. Feel the vibrations flowing through a little bit more. Generally, I think we find that we are so conditioned with me and mine and my identity, myself, that we're really unable to let go and accept that the unconditional love of the divine and the divine play that can nurture and fulfill our lives and just fill up with joy of being in the moment. If I would love, Andrew, if you could put up the Khalil Gibran has an absolutely, so there's this fear of letting go, fear of losing ourselves. And Khalil Gibran has a beautiful poem that, if you don't mind, I would love to read out. What I would suggest, if you could just have your hands again at your lap or in front of you at the level of your heart, put our attention on the Sahasrara. So we're still feeling the vibrations of the poem. So it is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled. From the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road, crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there's no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. And that is absolutely where that surrendering of the ego and the superego to become part and parcel of the whole. It's just that absolutely beautiful divine bliss that you feel. Also, I mean, to remember that, I suppose that the reactions that Shri Mataji was talking about, these are, I suppose, reactive neural pathways in our brain that have formed over the years. Like a path on a green lawn, there's beautiful green lawn, you start walking on it, and the more you walk, and if you're continuously walking, the grass starts to die down, it kind of becomes a path. And same way, when we react, and there's a certain reaction that we keep reacting, those neural pathways get cemented. So whether we like, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes a conditioning. So it will take practice to dissolve and form new positive pathways. So, with watching, with introspection, with seeing where our attention is going, and then changing, allowing this Kundalini, allowing the mother energy to manifest the positive qualities with us. So we have given you the tools. We kind of, we've got the realization very easily. We have Mother Kundalini that comes up and helps. But we still need to put that effort by meditating, effort of using the cleansing tools, doing our foot soaks every day. So I've got this little video clip that I found, which I thought was fantastic. So it's this little, it just shows how easy we've got our realization, but we still have to do some work. Thank you, Andrew. If It will come. You just click on, I think you just click on it, it should play. Ah, not playing. Okay, no worries. We'll find it again and I'll do. Not meant to be today. Let's have a look. It's no, that's okay. We'll play it again tomorrow. It's just as the lifts open up and inside the lifts it's stairs, so the poor gentleman still has to walk up. And I thought that's a very great analogy to the fact that they've got a realization, but we still need to do a little bit of work. So that I would like to thank Vaishali. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Richard for being with us today. It was a beautiful collective evening. I do hope you could feel that Agya opening up, feeling that calmness of your attention happening. We've just got another beautiful song, the Armenian version of the Lord's Prayer. So that's a prayer of forgiveness, which is beautiful. So please continue sitting in meditation and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you very much. Good night.
Abunda bashmaya ni kadashama tietek malkota Teviganak ay kanad bashmay af bahara Abunda bashmaya ni kadashamak tietek malkutak neiwe tevigan ay kanad bashmay af bahara Ay kanadafnan juvukan lahaiban Huelat halan helayanes yunak Mikul Dilaki Makuthak Ahila Wateshputhak Metul Dilaki